during the previous service.
Actually have a post scheduled for, I have a post scheduled for that Connections is on hiatus. There's a post schedule.
Everyone's gone quiet.
I want to welcome those who are joining us on YouTube. We're going to begin in just a few moments. We'll be welcoming our Zoom visitors to join us here on Zoom, and then all of us will be together on Zoom and on YouTube across the miles and across the screens. We're so glad to have you with us this Christmas Eve. Good evening, friends, and welcome. Welcome to our Christmas Eve Vespers. Those of you joining us on Zoom and those on YouTube. Although we are far apart, we feel connected to you, and we are so glad to be in our homes and able to be with you in a way in yours. I invite us into this call to worship this evening. Friends, it is good to celebrate Christmas, even though Christmas is different. Friends, it is good to be together, even though together is imperfect. Friends, it is good to be present in the world right now, even though the world can be cold, even though the light can be hard to find, even though we may feel alone. Perhaps this is the Christmas of even though. But if it is the Christmas of even though, it is surely also the Christmas of and yet still. And yet still, we bring our candles, each in our own homes and in our own ways. And yet still, we bring our love, reaching out as we are able. And yet still, we bring ourselves, one community seeking peace. Even though, and yet still. Let us worship together. I invite you now into our chalice lighting. If you have a chalice at home, I invite you to light along with me. I invite you now. We gather together as a community of memory and hope, along with me, to celebrate life and its infinite possibilities for love. If you'd like to say these words with me, I invite you to do so while on mute. To celebrate life and its infinite. We light this chalice as a symbol of the light within every human heart. While on mute. May our individual sparks meet and merge, bringing both light and warmth to the world. May our Coming
Light of the world, Mary's child, dawn on our darkened day.
It has been a dark day in a dark year, and yet, even though, it's been 9 months since we last gathered in person in our beautiful sanctuary. 9 months of isolation and difficulty, and yet, this church has kept on going. This church has offered services every single Sunday, all kinds of possibilities all through the week. We have provided assistance for our community partners. We have served in voice, and we have had wonderful opportunities for worship and for connection. Yes, the church is closed, but the work goes on, and the joy of connection continues to be possible because of your generous contributions, yours and mine. I urge you tonight to consider making a contribution to the church. Sarah is putting up the 4 ways as we see them now. You can go on to our website at uucava.org. You can set up e-payments there or make an individual payment. You can go to PayPal. You can use the Give Plus app on your cell phone, which then allows you to find our zip code and find the church. You can text the amount, there's the number. Or you can write a check with collection or offering in the memo line. This church depends on the generosity of its members to keep our missions vital. Please give.
Thank you all. Thank you, Free Spirits, for your wonderful rendition of the Christmas song. Merry Christmas to everybody. This is the season of Advent, the season in the Christian tradition where we celebrate the coming of Jesus. And each one of our 4 candles that we light represents something different. The first candle we light is the candle of love. And in the Christian tradition, it's the love that God has for us. But I think of the time that we're in now and how much we need the love of each other so badly. And so tonight we light our first Advent candle. In the spirit of love. Tonight we are going to be reading a poem by the great poet Maya Angelou. It's called Amazing Peace, a Christmas poem. It was originally written in 2005 for the White House tree illumination. And it's a piece that is so relevant to our times today. It's a long and beautiful piece. And so to allow all of us to savor it, we will be reading different parts of it throughout the service. So let us begin. Amazing Peace, a Christmas poem. Thunder rumbles in the mountain passes, and lightning rattles the eaves of our houses. Flood waters await us in our avenues. Snow falls upon snow, falls upon snow to avalanche over unprotected villages. The sky slips low and gray and threatening. We question ourselves. What have we done to so affront nature? We worry God. Are you there? Are you really there? Does the covenant you made with us still hold? Into this climate of fear and apprehension, Christmas enters. Streaming lights of joy, ringing bells of hope, and singing carols of forgiveness high up in the bright air. The world is encouraged to come away from rancor, come the way of friendship.
We light our second candle tonight, and this candle is the candle of hope. Why hope, we ask? Why not hope? Hope is what makes our life worth living. Hope is what makes us imagine that tomorrow just might be better. Hope for health, for ourselves and our loved ones. Hope at last for reason to surround us. Hope in the end for justice and peace on earth. Continuing Maya Angelou's poem, it is the glad season. Thunder ebbs to silence and lightning sleeps quietly in the corner. Floodwaters recede into memory. Snow becomes a yielding cushion to aid us as we make our way to higher ground. Hope is born again in the faces of children. It rides on the shoulders of our aged as they walk into their sunsets. Hope spreads around the earth, brightening all things, even hate, which crouches, breeding in dark corners.
Our third candle on our Advent wreath is the candle that is pink. It is our candle for joy. And I've always loved the pink candle. And it seems that Christmas is a time where joy is automatic. Maybe not this year. Which is why we need to light this candle more than ever. We need to remind ourselves that joy is a candle in the dark. That while we think of a better world and dream of a better world, there are things worth celebrating here and now. Continuing with Maya Angelou's beautiful poem. In our joy, we think we hear a whisper. At first, it is too soft, then only half-hearted. We listen carefully as it gathers strength. We hear a sweetness. The word is peace. It is loud now. It is louder than the explosion of bombs. We tremble at the sound. We are thrilled by its presence. It is what we have hungered for. Not just the absence of war, but true peace. A harmony of the spirit, a comfort of courtesies, security for our beloved and for their beloved.
Away in a manger, no crib for a bed. The baby Jesus laid down his sweet head. The stars in the sky looked down where he lay. The baby Jesus asleep on the hay.
And as we light the fourth of the Advent candles, as we bring Advent to a close, we light this candle for peace. Peace. Peace in the world and peace in our hearts. Security for ourselves and for those we love. And the possibility of security for all of those we love, for all of the sisters and brothers unknown to us. May there be peace in our hearts. May we have peace toward them. May there be peace in their hearts. This is our prayer. And one more portion of this amazing poem from Maya Angelou. We clap hands and welcome the peace of Christmas. We beckon this good season to wait a while with us. We, Baptist and Buddhist, Methodist and Muslim, say come. Peace. Come and fill us and our world with your majesty. We, the Jew and the Jainist, the Catholic and the Confucian, implore you to stay a while with us so we may learn by your shimmering light how to look beyond complexion and see community. It is Christmas time, a halting of hate time. On this platform of peace, we can create a language to translate ourselves to ourselves and to each other. At this holy instant, we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ into the great religions of the world. We jubilate the precious advent of trust. We shout with glorious tongues at the coming of hope. All the earth's tribes loosen their voices to celebrate the promise of peace.
The poem ends with this stanza. We, angels and mortals, believers and non-believers, look heavenward and speak the word aloud. Peace. We look at our world and speak the word aloud. Peace. We look at each other, then into ourselves, and we say without shyness or apology or hesitation, peace, my brother. Peace, my sister. Peace, my soul. Silent night. Always it comes tonight to this song. Silent night. All of the planning for this service, the wondering how we should manage Christmas Eve came to this moment. To the magic that is created after the readings and the candles and the music. The magic that is Silent Night. as candles surround us and a hush pervades the room. It is for me the moment when it feels that peace may indeed be possible. Amid the hubbub and the war and the injustice and the loss and the grief. In our sweet and silly pageant this afternoon, the narrator notices when the child playing Mary starts to cry, holding the baby doll. The narrator says to us, and perhaps it was at just this moment, this silent night moment, the narrator tells us it's as though Christmas just came over her all at once. As though Christmas just came over her all at once. That is the silent night moment to me. The moment when it feels that peace may just be possible. Held, cupped in our very hands. The Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. tells us, and Maya Angelou echoes it in her poem, King tells us peace is not merely the absence of tension. It is the presence of justice. So much about this year has reminded us of the ways that justice is not yet present, still beyond us. Not here in this world, hard perhaps even to imagine. And yet every year, when we light our candles, when we sing Silent Night, it's that peace, the presence of justice peace, that I believe we are trying to create. That we are trying just even to imagine together for a moment, to hold out as possible. But of course, the silent night moment isn't just about having peace. It isn't even just about creating it, it's about spreading it to each other. That peace, that presence of justice, that beautiful silence. The magic of silent night wouldn't be nearly the same if we all lit our matches at the same time. No, it's one candle to the other. Albert Schweitzer tells us, at times our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lighted the flame within us. At times, our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark. We know that truth from our own chalice lighting words in this community, the words that remind us sometimes every week, for surely we need that reminder sometimes every week, that our own sparks meet and merge. The fire within each one of us, the light, candle to candle. That is the magic of the Christmas peace, the magic of the silent night moment, that it is a peace built among us, built by us, light by light, and prayer by prayer. This year, we cannot pass the light literally to each other, although in a few moments, we will invite you to light candles in your own homes. But we can still pass around our hope. We can still share the light that we carry within. we can still notice and think with gratitude of those who have rekindled our own flames, and wonder and commit to rekindle others. I want to invite you, if you are joining us on Zoom this evening, I want to invite you to switch over to your gallery view if you'd like. Just toggle over so that you can see each other's eyes. If you've had your video off and you're comfortable putting it on, let us see you. Messy hair and sweatpants and just the way you are. We are each other's candles this year. We are each other's light and each other's hope, and we can still pass it among us. If you're watching on YouTube, I invite you to share, if you'd like, who you are in the chat, to greet each other this evening, as we surely would if we were together. And now I want to invite you to share just a little more, perhaps. Our peace this evening is created by what we carry in our hearts, what no distance can remove. By the way that our shared vision for the future, our shared work for justice, our belief in peace builds through this community. By the connection that we feel with each other, the one that we grow together, and the compassion we show that cannot be contained by walls and is not dependent on touch to be felt. Let us begin creating our silent night tonight. As Sophia welcomes us into the music again, I invite you to share in the chat the hopes and the prayers, the gratitude, the way your light has been kindled, that you hold tonight. Spirit of life and love, be with us in this silent night. We lift up hearts full of gratitude for the compassion we have found this year, for the music that surrounds us this evening. Hearts full of gratitude for friends and strangers alike. We lift up hearts yearning for peace, for hope. We lift up hearts yearning and hoping that the vaccine may be enough, that it may turn the tide so that our communities, all of them, can be safe. So that our friends, our beloveds can hold hands once again. So that we can be together. We lift up hearts wishing for justice, fighting for it. Yearning for the true peace that may be possible. Spirit of life and love, we are glad, even in this way, to be together. May we carry that love, that hope, that joy even, and yes, that peace with us in this silent night and in the days to come. May it be so. And amen. I invite you now, as we hear our sanctuary singers bring us a final silent night, to light your candles. On our Advent wreath, we light the center candle, the Christmas candle, the Christ candle. Light all the candles you can, friends, tonight and every night. Share the light. Build the peace of silent night. Even though, and yet still, spread the quiet joy.
Holy night,
Friends, beloveds, I know I am more filled with peace after this time with all of you. I thank you for being with us this evening. To our musicians, to the ministry team, to Annie, making sure all flows perfectly, to each one of you. Howard Thurman wrote, "When the song of the angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princes are home, when the shepherds are back with their flocks, the work of Christmas begins. To find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among the people, to make music in the heart." Friends, you have indeed made music in my heart. The work of Christmas is now all of ours to do. We will share together a final piece of music. You are invited to quietly leave the meeting and go on to your own silent night if you choose, as that music closes. Or if you'd like afterward to stay and say a little Merry Christmas to each other, you are welcome to. Friends, Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas, friends. Merry Christmas to all in the chat. Merry Christmas on Zoom. Merry Christmas on YouTube. Merry Christmas.